Right, guys, so back around at Dad's. So I'm going to throw this in the lathe. I'm going to make it round. Hopefully you can get it within that black line roughly, because that's the, is that a bit, oh, but not black, that's a bit, because that's the piece that fits around in there, and it's in within that black line basically. So if I can get it turned down round within that line, and then what I'll do is I'll clamp it by when I've got it to rough shape, and I'll face it off, and I'll turn it round. We'll take this bit of shit out, face that off, drill a slightly oversized hole in there so we can obviously glue a piece of metal in there with the right thread, you know, and make a piece up. So we might even be able to use what we didn't use earlier on, or maybe even turn that up, put that in there, you know, just make a bit of an insert, bore it out, tap it, whatever, glue it in. Don't have to glue it in right away, but you know what I mean, and then we can turn it back around and we can finish turning it basically. So I'll just wind this out, face it off, you know, whatever, and then we can turn it back around and make it to the right shape, and then we can bore it out later on if we have to or whatever. But we're turned down to roughly that shape with obviously the top part on it, and we'll go from there. So I'll throw it in here, and we'll clean and throw it up a bit. Right, so that's the gear knob basically made. That's sanded with 500. It's just what I've got here. So now I'm going to wrap a bit of tape around that, throw it back in here, bore this out a bit, and then, well, actually I might start turning this down. I'll use that bit. Actually, I might use this piece because it's a bit longer, a bit easier to hold, and then cut and machine a little slug to put in here. obviously the right thread and whatever else, and then we can glue it in. quickly. Hang on. Get out of here and then come back here and clean up at some point. Glue that in there like that, and done with it. Maybe give it a polish tomorrow. Yeah, done. One knob. I think that looks pretty good. So yeah. Right, morning guys, so welcome back. So back at the other workshop obviously. So I've got the little gear knob that I made late yesterday in here. Put the bit of this glue in here. So this is what I use a lot for gluing wood together or gluing other things to wood. It's this. Are you going to read that? So that's a Sika Flex sort of type brand, nail bond, super grip, 30-minute stuff. So I use it for a lot of the wood construction in the back of the car to hold and laminate stuff together. Like shit, if you want to try and get it apart after that, you're basically going to smash it. It glues really quick. Glues up pretty quick. Yeah, like as it says, in half an hour, it's kind of almost set, if you know what I mean. Like it'll be enough to hold it together for sure, and then it'll cure properly, you know, over 24 hours sort of type thing, and harden up completely. So like this in half an hour or so, it kind of foams up too. So and that's why I've got it just sitting in the vise, just really pressure on it. So yeah, that'll probably just, some of the little pieces around the edge will sort of foam up a little bit, so we'll have to give that a wee bit of a clean off and a shine up, whatever, and polish up again. I like to polish that piece of wee piece of brass anyway, so whether we actually use this for the final gear knob or not, I don't know, but I just made one because we don't have one on there. It's kind of annoying. We're kind of at that point, you know, we're just doing all the lots of little pieces until hopefully we get this bloody wiring kit here at least, so I can feed that through and, you know, hook up the gauges and any other electrical, you know, light switches, and just, you know, it's not a lot to hook up on it, but it needs to be done, and it's kind of really the next thing in the process. You know, I'd like it now, but you know, I'm kind of stuck to that. So basically, I let that go up. What am I doing next? I might have a wee play with this light, other tail light piece. Got some screws and stuff to sort out, and then I actually meant to go and get the steel this morning, but I forgot about it. So I'll go get that shortly too. I'll shoot back into the local engineers, and they should have that steel there, and I'll get picked that up. It will be it for me. I've been doing all these other little pieces, so I haven't got there yet. I meant to go there this morning because it's just along the road from home. But I've got to go towards town, not away towards work, if you know what I mean. Like it's only half a minute up the road, but when you're not thinking about it, you sort of forget. Oh, there's that little fucking piece I was talking about yesterday too, or the other day. For this thing, I made this little thing to lock these in. I knew it was sitting around somewhere. After you've got them in there, you find it. But anyway, so yeah, we'll let that cure up for half an hour, a couple of hours maybe. And actually, hopefully, because there's a few minor splits in this wood, some of that there will actually, because it's under sort of hydraulic pressure, it'll seep into some of the cracks that are in there, and it should make it a wee bit stronger. It's got a few hairline cracks through it, so we'll just have to fill some in there. Anyway. Alrighty, so I've just been mucking around with this, just making sure these screws are going to work. We've got them here, it looks like they're going to do the job. I think these ones are going to be okay. And obviously I made a gasket. I'm not sure if I showed you that other day. I started making that the other day. And then I was playing with the glass for in here, which is fortunately just the number plate light. But I frickin' dropped it and it cracked through the middle. So I've just got some there epoxy and just trying to hopefully glue it back together, because God knows we're going to get another one of them. Worst comes to worst, I suppose you get a piece of plastic, perspex or something, bend it to shape and fit it in there. Worst comes to worst, I guess. We'll try that. We'll scrape the excess glue off and put it in there, and hopefully it's okay. Unfortunately, it's only a number plate, so it's only looking down, so it's not something you're going to be looking at. You know, it's down low. It's not ideal. Pisses me off that I broke it, but what do you do? Shit happens sometimes. You know, if we had another one, it wouldn't have been as bad, but so yeah, we'll just try that. That stuff seems to work pretty good on glass, so yeah, we can only try it. If it happens to crack again in there, well, it's at least it's in the holder. It's, you know, and I don't know if it really needs the rubber gasket, but I just thought at least if it's in there, it's not going to be rattling. You know what I mean? It'll just give it something to push against, I guess. It's only really held by these little frickin' tabs at the end. That's all that holds it in there. You know what I mean? So sort of at least if there's like a little rubber gasket, it might just help hold it somewhat better. I may even make actually make a little strip of steel and cut a hole in it, just to screw them behind here, just to help hold it. I don't know. I might shape up a piece just to help hold it in place, if you know what I mean, if it does happen to break loose. But yeah, I just was testing that sort of stuff. So I think what I'll do, because I'm still waiting on that gear knob to dry. If it's drying, you can see that glue still foaming up. So we can knock some of that off shortly. When it's hardened up a bit more, it's still a bit soft. You know, like in another hour or two, that'll be actually quite hard, and we'll better knock the excess off, you know what I mean, and then clean it up. Hopefully it's oozed out into these little voids. Alright. But yeah, so I think we might just go for a cruise and get some steel, and then we can at least start making the window frames finally. Get that done. Yeah, and then we are really getting short on work. There'll be a few other little bits and pieces, but yeah, actually, I think what I'll do is I'll make a couple of phone calls. I've got my mate 65, he wants some work done. I might give him a yell, and I might give the guy at the Dodge a ring, see how he's getting on. I don't know when he's going to bring that thing in here. Like, he was wanting it done before February, and it was like, you know, 4 months ago or more. I was talking to him when we thought we might have got this sort of completed, but we took a while to get that clutch bearing, which was a big hold up for a long time. You know, we could have had the motor and box in it quite a lot earlier than we ever did. You know, we could have went around things a different way. So that sort of held us up, because then we could have moved the car around and got a lot more bits and pieces out of the road, I guess. Kinda. It's taken us a while to get here anyway, but we probably could have got around it a different way and got a bit more stuff out of the road, and got that other car in here. But he was going to get it running and driving months ago, I guess, but he's just never done anything with it, and now he's now living in a different part of the, well, I'm not saying different part of the country, but he's up the country a little bit, you know, and a good hour and a half away sort of thing, or a bit more-ish, probably an hour and a half away from where the car is. So then that becomes, you know, it's like, you've actually got to do a special trip to go get it running and driving. So yeah, now he's trying to organise his brothers and his mate to get it running and driving and get it out here. But yeah, like I can't afford to be hanging around that long. So yeah, I need to, hopefully he doesn't take too much longer to get in there, if he's going to bring it in. Now, I don't know. He's not going to have it before February, no way. Like, but if I got it at the start of September, like I first asked him, you know, if you can get this thing in here, I can start doing some work on it, you know. It wouldn't have mattered if it just took us a week long to do what we needed to do. You know, we can't get upholstery until next year in this thing now, so at least. So, like, if it took me another 3 or 4 months to, you know, if it was Christmas time, by the time I got to this stage, well, it wouldn't have mattered much, you know what I mean? But yeah, just, he's never got it here, so we will carry on. I'll make some phone calls, we'll go grab some steel, and yeah, might shift that little thread. So I don't break it. We'll shift these over here. But yes, we will make some phone calls and see if we can at least find out what's going on with these other cars, because otherwise I'm going to be by the end of the week ish, if we don't get some stuff turn up, we're going to be really hunting for stuff to do. Oh yeah, wow. This steel has become a bit of a frickin' issue. Unfortunately, the owner of the business isn't there at the moment. He's crook. I think he's got COVID or something like that. So, but yeah, so frickin' steel's not there. So I don't know if it hasn't been ordered or it just hasn't turned up or whatever, or it's been used for something else. Who would know? So yeah, we'll just have to wait again. Hopefully, maybe tomorrow, whatever, some more turns up. It's a bit of a pain in the butt because it's sort of one of the only places here to get materials from without going into the local city, but it's a pain in the butt because he's got an account there, so if I go into town then I'm going to have to obviously take cash or some sort of payment with me to pay for it, which is, it'd be alright if I had the business fully up and running, but when he's paying for everything for this car, well, it's kind of just awkward. I don't want to be running around. I'd get the money back, but just have the cash on hand, if you know what I mean, to be able to do it. And then I've got to run away to town, whereas it's only half a minute up the road from home to grab, you know, at lunchtime or first thing in the morning, or even grab it, you know, just before 5 o'clock, call them there, you know, 4:30 and grab what I need and then bring it here the next morning, sort of type thing. So it's handy. Real fucking handy. But anyway, so it's probably been about an hour since I left, or a bit more. I was actually just talking to Arco and whatever. I don't know if you guys have seen, it's an old movie. Well, yeah, it's an old movie, I guess, showing my age. The Wraith was the Charlie Sheen movie that was done in the about 85, 86, somewhere about there, I think it was done. It was a bit of a B grade, but it was one of those sort of cult classic car movies. But yeah, I was just talking to Arco. He was showing me some photos of some cars that they just got recently, but there was I think it's a 65 or a 66 Barracuda sitting there. I was just like, skank and gutter boy car, because it's quite a rough looking car. Like, it's definitely not pristine in any way, or look like it's in really, really great shape. So it'd be a perfect tribute for that, if you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I just wonder if any of you guys have ever seen the movie, or know if anybody's ever done a tribute car to it. It'd just be interesting to know. I hunted and hunted and hunted on, well, I didn't want to hunted, but I had a pretty good look in the last 5 or 10 minutes. You know, you get onto frickin' something and then start hunting. But yeah, I couldn't find any videos on YouTube about anybody making one. So a few people made models and bits and pieces, and I've seen a few photos and bits and pieces, which is quite handy if you ever want to build a tribute car, because it's, if you don't know the car, basically it's a 66 Barracuda. It's painted purple, but it's got a, I think it's got like a silver front, left front guard on it, fender, whatever, and then it's got like flames on it, and it's got like on the door, it's got like cars and motorbikes and all that sort of shit in it, like, you know, the old planes would have had, you know, like for the people that had shot down. Well, it's got cars and shit on it, and a few other things, you know, bits and pieces, little details and stuff on it. Like, it would be a really epic car, especially if you knew the movie. I reckon just one of those cool things just to do if you've got a really ratty one that, you know, it's probably worth restoring, but if you got a ratty one, well, it wouldn't matter quite so much if it wasn't perfect, you know. It would be a cheap, cool build, if you know what I mean, to have something different than the normal average pristine Barracuda, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I reckon it would be a cool car to build, but you know, it'd be one of those things you just have to have one at the time. But anyway, it was just a wee side thought. So anyway, carrying on with this stuff, like for this glass, it's hardening up. It's definitely held together, so that's good. I'll have to clean obviously the glue off. So I probably can't do much with that for at least another day. Then we'll try and trim the excess off. So at least that's okay, kind of. Well, about as okay as it's going to be. So I'll look at this again now. I'm really struggling for stuff to do. You know, I can't do some things. This glue's kind of set, I guess. Trim that shit off. Because really it's a fucking pain, because I am really struggling for stuff to do. I'm going to do a little bit more with that top. You know, a bit of mucking around. I've got a little bit of touch-up work to do with some paint and stuff underneath the car, and just small stuff, lots of little small jobs. You know, 5-10 minute. Like, I'm really getting down to the 5 or 10 minute, just little things. You know, some things are going to be a bit longer than that, but kind of, you know, you can only go so far with some things until we get something else sorted. If I get this cleaned up, at least we can put this on. Give it a wee polish. I think the glue is probably set enough now that I can probably do that. Hopefully. I don't think it'll ever come out now. I was actually almost thought about using that to glue this in, if you know what I mean. But I didn't. That epoxy. I thought maybe that might be